Welcome back to the Top 6 show. It's Monday, it's 6 p.m. Hit the like button, subscribe, bell notifications, and all of that. To everyone who's offended by me asking you to do it or reminding you to do it. Again, why are you here watching? I don't understand. We've got a brilliant panel for you tonight. We've got Will. I'd apologize, Will, for you not being invited back on. It's KJ that does all of that. It was him that was ignoring you, not me. We've got Kunle, we've got Roms, we've got man like George. Callum is back with us. Long time no see, man from Coppish. And of course, my favorite little Sinead O'Connor stroke. Uncle Fester lookalike Henry Wright is in the house. How are we all? We all well? We all good?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's happening with the haircut though, Henry? Because that is looking janky, bruv.
Yeah, my missus keeps saying you've got to grow it out because I'm getting married next year and I can't have this sort of hair, so I've got to grow it out now.
You're already being controlled.
No, not well. Every geezer's controlled. Every woman wears a trouser.
Farm it off.
Fact.
Everyone does it, no?
You want what you want in the bedroom. You got to do things around the house, mate. That's the way it is.
Okay. So man is confirming that he is a prostitute. Fair enough. Thank you. Right. At least we know, Henry. At least we know. Loads to talk about today, people, as well. We've got some massively tough questions for our panel and you, the audience, about your football clubs coming later, which I'm a little bit excited about as I'm the one asking the questions. But I wanted to start off this evening with Benjamin Mendy, obviously found innocent of the alleged crimes against him last year. There were all the reports about him kind of suing Man City, who stopped paying him during this process. But he has come out today and not only slammed Manchester City for causing him huge financial problems during this period, he has also, as everyone can see here, come out and spoke about several first-team players, including the club captain at the time, were all present at the parties that he attended and hosted. He said, we all drank alcohol. We all had casual relationships with women. We all breached COVID-19 restrictions. They were moving like Boris Johnson, you know. This does not excuse my behavior, but I felt that it is unfair of Man City to single me out in the way they have. The difference between me and the other City players is that I was the one who was falsely accused and publicly humiliated. But he's coming out here. He's slamming Manchester City. What do we make of this? Because obviously he's been left in a real financial hole. He has, in the court of law, been found not guilty, and that is what it is right now. None of us have any additional information, but attacking the club captain, the way City treated him, and essentially saying they knew that loads of players were there doing that. They covered that up and only kind of punished me, because obviously when he did this as well, it was COVID. I remember going out back then. Like if you went out for a walk, some people wanted you arrested. Like what do we make of what Benjamin Mendy's saying here?
I mean, you know how it is as like a guy in terms of with certain things. It's like you're almost guilty. It's like automatically. So with things like that, your reputation is always going to be kind of tarnished. I think, he's not wrong in terms of him being upset and him saying that there were other players that were there as well. But because he's the one that got accused of that, of course, they're going to kind of single him out and they're not going to focus on maybe what else was going on. But yeah, I mean, his reputation's done. And I mean, he's legally been found innocent. And now to this day, people are still calling him, a certain word that's associated with what he was accused with. It's like nobody cares. So, just how it is. Life's not fair. And,
I'm him. Sucks. If I'm him, I'm doubling down on this slander of City. Like, because they took the piss. They threw me out to dry. And they're not coming in to like support or apologize or say sorry. Like they suspended all his wages. I don't know if he got them all back. That's basically saying he's guilty without being proven.
No, but let's be honest here, yeah. I don't think City were wrong for doing what they done. Everyone in the court of social court and like social media court across everyone else, everyone had him down as guilty. There was so many.
Who's everyone, bro? Speak for yourself.
He was guilty until proven innocent. No, everyone thought he was guilty until he got proven innocent. And cool, he got
everyone, George. I don't understand. Who's everyone?
But why'd you think that though? Just because he was just accused, so it's just really why'd you think that he was automatically guilty?
No, I'm just saying, but that was what was out
You're
there.
saying the general consensus on social
the general
media
consensus was that he was guilty. I don't think what City done was wrong to stop his wages at the time. And for him right now to do, it wasn't just me, it was him, is just doing like the blame game now, because you're the one that got caught. You're the one that got singled out. It wasn't the guys that caught you.
Caught doing what though?
But it was the girls that accused you. It was girls. It wasn't like the other players got accused of the actions he got accused of. They haven't been accused.
He got caught doing stuff during COVID, not the allegations. The allegations were false, bro.
No, I know, but he got accused. He's the one that got.
Yeah, boys, I do get I get both your arguments here. I find as a Man United fan is this: we were absolutely ridiculed for continuing to. We suspended, but continued to pay Mason Greenwood. And obviously, we never got to see the full truth because it never went through the court of law. So everyone has their opinion on that situation, but nobody 100% knows everything because the court case didn't happen. But I can understand why, again, sometimes hindsight's lucrative. I can understand now with the case falling down why Man United did what they did, because they could have found themselves in a situation where they were being sued for even more money because your club suspending pay against you. I think where George is right to a degree is it sends a message to everybody. Wow, the club are not backing him. Like, why have the club not backed him? What do they know that we don't, as an example? And I think we have I'm speaking hypothetically here, but this is the way the mindset of people work. So I kind of get why Benjamin Mendy is frustrated at his employers, because he needed money to defend. I mean, he also speaks about Raheem Sterling and a few other players who are lending him money to be able to feed his kids, to be able to pay for his legal fees during that time. So I do get his frustration. The only element I'm probably not, I don't know, maybe it's a guy thing. I'm a bit like, don't throw other friends under the bus, do you? Like, for doing, not that they did anything illegal, as he said, but, well, I suppose breaking COVID restrictions were at that point, but that's the only bit I don't like. You ain't got to throw your fellow teammates under a bus. Maybe that's just me.
Do you think this plays a part as well? Like, I know what he allegedly did was bad, but the fact he wasn't integral to Man City, because let's be honest, I think the first 6 months he was cold for them, and then he was injury prone. I think he was injury prone most of his City career, and that was one of the first signings of Pep's tenure. I think had it have been a player that was proper integral to them winning a Bernardo and Aguero or whatnot, I think Man City would have backed the player a bit more. I'm not saying it's right, but I thought they would. The fact he was so injury prone and kind of surplus to requirements majority of his City career, I think that's also why they just threw him under the bus even more.
Well, Liverpool did something. Obviously, Liverpool, we all know, stood by Luis Suarez when he did his stuff. But wasn't it didn't your young fullback, Flanagan, have a situation with his wife, and boom, straight away kicked out the club? And it was almost very easy to throw someone out the club who isn't wanted, isn't needed, surplus to requirements. Very different than when it's your star player, I suppose.
True to an extent, but there was like evidence for Flanagan, like, which couldn't be disputed with that one. So it was more of an easy decision. But you're right, because we saw what happened with Luis Suarez, and the club backed Suarez when they shouldn't have really done that either. I think with the Benjamin Mendy one, I think I get where George and Kunle are both coming from. For me, though, if you're going to suspend his pay, the moment he's found innocent, I think you should pay him back. And I think I think you should be as loud as the apology should be as loud as the accusation, in my opinion. So if you've suspended him and suspended his pay, when he's found guilty, for me, you put out a statement going, Benjamin Mendy has been found innocent. Therefore, as a club, we are now going to do this, and we wish him the best in his future endeavors, or whatever you want to say. But for me, there's no consistency. You're very quick to put yourselves in the front of the media to show how much you're distancing yourself from someone, but at the moment that they're found innocent, it's all quiet. For me, that's where I think the inconsistency is. But it's a difficult one. It's a horrible situation to be in.
It certainly is, and it is a difficult one. One thing I will say it shows about Man City, and this is a positive, is they remind me of Man United in the 90s in terms of keeping things under wraps. Outside of, they couldn't do it with Benjamin Mendy because it was a public situation. But the fact that how many of our clubs, I know Man United, everything we do wrong comes out, leaks, everybody finds out, every little problem a player has. City players were having parties in COVID, mad, wild parties, and none of us knew about it until now. Like, there's an element there where I am envious of how good their club is I mean, I don't know what they're doing to shut down the story. I mean, Fergie had like spies all over Manchester, legitimately. Every nightclub, bar, restaurant, he had people on the payroll that would feed him information, if that made sense, so they could get players out of bad situations and things like that. But it does show how well, look, whether people like this or not, it shows how well run they are. They're able to, I mean, the government of England couldn't stop their party from leaking. Man City did. That, for me, I've got to say well done. I've got to say well done for stopping the parties from leaking. It's crazy.
Yeah, but did like we need him to come out and say that they were having parties? Like, I think you could like assume that players were breaking COVID violations, right? Like, I feel like that'd have been a safe assumption. Like, I don't think that he really revealed like anything that's too surprising. Like, they live in like a different world than like what we live in with like the resources and money that they have. I'm pretty sure a lot of players were breaking COVID.
Yeah, but Terry's saying that the fact that it didn't leak.
It didn't leak.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. I reckon. I mean, most people, most of us were like, when they allowed you to have like 4 or 5 people come round, I had a barbecue, and there were 75 people in my house. It was one that we invited a lot of people, and I didn't think everyone would come. Right, I always over invite. But because everyone had been locked up for 4 or 5 months, everybody came. Like my street, right? The cars on my street, it was like, oh, we're getting in trouble, man. Like it was just full of people. And where I live, like my friends, when they were getting out of the cars, they all stood out as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this area had never seen anything like it before. It was a madness. And I was like, oh, we are getting in trouble today. But it was a good party. That was great party. Other than my brother, I pushed him in the pool and he banged his head. He had to go home early. Sorry, bruv. Still feel guilty about that. His kids still talk about it. They're like, remember when you hurt my daddy by pushing him in the pool? Like, yeah, sorry, Cal, you're gonna say something.
No, I was gonna say, even though they kept it under wraps, I think from the court case, names did come out, and 2 names that did come out, they've kind of just been completely absolved. I really want to put their names out there. I think everyone kind of knows who the 2 Man City players are. They're both England internationals, but nothing came of that.
I don't know. I'm going to hazard a guess.
I don't know either, Cal.
Carl Walker must be Walker. Carl Walker's always doing the madness.
I think we know who the 2 are, right? One's a right back, one's a player that plays on the wing for them, can also play in the 10. But they were mentioned in the actual court case. Like, they were actually mentioned, and the media knew the names, and again, nothing came of that.
Nothing
either.
really. I mean, Carl Walker.
Like,
I swear I've seen a video of Carl Walker with dog food, everything. Like, that man has done some crazy stuff. He's done some crazy. But
wasn't there a picture of Grealish on a bed? That
yeah. Do you know what I love about that picture? Was the happy, like, he's like so happy. He's just so happy to be there. Like,
big bunda.
Yeah.
But like, how were they mentioned though? Like, what was the capacity that they were mentioned in? Like, oh, like they were just at the party too, or like how were they mentioned in the court case?
I think they were mentioned.
Because like if they were just at the party, then it's like I don't really think that's
one of them weren't.
They were active. They were active, bro.
Yeah, very active.
Okay.
Very active. I'd prefer not to say online. I
think we know what active means.
Yeah.
In fairness with Carl Walker, a lot of Carl Walker stuff is so public. You're allowed to. I suppose you're allowed to talk about it. I mean, he was in trouble recently at a bar for like. I've seen the video, like, you know, getting a bit. I mean, Anyway, we're gonna move on from Carl Walker. Great player though, but he's a boy. In my day, he'd have been called a boy, but he's a boy, isn't he? Like, he's a boy. Speaking of Man City though, hang on a second. Mendy was jailed for some time though. He was remanded, which is obviously crazy.
Surely he should get compensation for that though. Like if you've had your wages deducted and you've done prison time, there's got to be some sort of compensation now that you're innocent. Sorry,
bruv. You've seen City's lawyers. He might be lucky to get about £4. Their lawyers are good. Those lawyers are good, you know. No, he should. He definitely should, because he had his pay stopped, and again, it's not my opinion. He's been found not guilty in a court of law, and there's not much to be done. Eddie here says, Terry, why not talk about Hugo Varane replacing Chiki, which is more big breaking news. Mendy news is unnecessary on the podcast talk. I don't think it is. It's huge news. I'm sure, Eddie, I'm going to say this to you. If this was a Man United player talking about Greenwood, I'm sure, I don't know if you would have tweeted this. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But we talk about these subjects regularly on the Football Terrace, and I wanted to get the boys' opinions because it's huge. It really is. But there we go. Speaking of Manchester City, there's a story today that they may come back in for Kyle Palmer and it may cost them somewhere close to £150 million to bring him in. One, is he worth it? That's the first question. Henry, is he worth £150 million for Man City to buy him back?
Yeah, I think he's the most valuable player in the Premier League right now. I think he starts for practically any team in the world. I think he's not afraid of big occasion. Should
More
Chelsea
valuable than Rodri? Henry?
I knew an Arsenal fan
Yeah.
would have something.
What does my team have to do with this, Callum? What does my
No,
team have
I
to do?
agree. I agree with Kunle, by the way.
I knew the Tottenham fan would have something to say as well.
Rodri's the best DM in the world. Like there's no
player in the
debate.
world. Best
However,
player.
Cole Palmer is younger, has more time on his contract remaining than Rodri does. And the form he's in the last year is absolutely ridiculous. Now Rodri's got an injury. We don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. It took Van Dijk a year to get back to that level. Rodri may come and then...
Actually, Henry, it didn't. Van Dijk, when he came back, was exceptional for the year. It was the following year.
Yeah, it's right. The following year he dipped off where Perisic spun him. But Cole Palmer...
Cool. That was uncalled for.
I don't think Chelsea will sell him. I think he's the main guy around their project. They've pinned him down to, another 9-year deal. I don't think he will leave. But I think if City... They'd have to sell. If he joins City, Foden's got to leave, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to. £150 million. That's going to be a huge chunk of their budget. And what happens with Foden? That's my question. If Palmer goes there, he's in that 10. So we're going to put Foden back out on the left again?
Yeah, but do you think if they sign Palmer, they're going to care about what happens to Foden?
Yeah, because he's their
main guy. If they're spending 150 mil on Palmer, they don't care about what happens.
Yeah, but he's the player of the year last year. He's their main guy.
But you get what I'm saying, Henry? If they're willing to commit 150 M to Palmer, they don't care about Foden.
Wait, but you could have both in the same team. You could play Palmer in the 10. You could have Foden on the right, and then you could play Savio on the left. Like you don't have to get rid of them.
Will, it's more than that. He's one of their own. Won them league titles. The sentiment factor then comes into it. They'll accommodate both of them. 100%.
Yeah. Like they can both play together. They can both play together.
Chelsea are not selling this guy. Let's just that there is absolutely no chance, even for £200 million.
That's not the question.
But I do agree with you though, Henry. Like Chelsea, you can't sell him. I mean, you signed him to that death row contract for a reason, bro. Like 10 years, you kidding me? Like you'd have to offer. I think for Chelsea to consider selling Cole Palmer next summer, you would have to offer them something close to maybe what Neymar went for, like 200 plus. Because he's the face of that project. Like if you're Chelsea, and if you sell Cole Palmer, what you have going for you is over now.
Do you know what comes into this as well? I don't even think the player himself want to leave because there's a sense of pride. He's like, hold on, you lot wanted to loan me out, and now you want to buy me back literally a year or two later. I don't think there's no way Chelsea sell him. Some people might say the Champions League. I think they get Champions League by the way, but some people might say, if they don't get Champions League, he may want to go back. Chelsea in the driving seat here, and this is where the death row contracts are beneficial because they could just write what they want for him, and City will have to pay up.
No, but Rom,
you see, hold on, quickly. You see, this is 2024, Rom. Like players don't care about all this loyalty and pride and all that now. Like 15 years ago, give me the money. If Chelsea accept the bid, he's going, bro. He's going.
So do you know what I was going to say? This is. I don't think. Look, there's some people, there are some, that's who isn't here. CB was meant to be. I knew there's somebody else meant to be, a Chelsea fan, CB. There are some Chelsea fans who think that Clear Lake are only there for money and they're buying these really talented young players to flip them for a profit, whether they're out on loan or in the first team. So that's a question that can be answered if this bid comes in. The only way, though, I see Palmer pushing to leave is if they don't give Palmer a pay increase that matches his desirability, in the sense of if you've got cities that are saying we are replacing KDB, one of the greatest central midfielders in Premier League history, that's who we're bidding to replace him with. That's a 250, 300, 400,000 pound a year salary. If I'm an agent and you're saying my club wants to buy your player, your client, to replace KDB, I'm saying, right, well, it means you think he's that level. It means you're paying him similar sort of money. So this is where Chelsea's wage structure is going to get tested. And it's why I find it such an intriguing deal. I don't think it will happen this summer. But there are elements here where if Cole Palmer's head is turned, it doesn't matter how long his contract is. If a player doesn't want to remain at a football club for one reason or another, it's difficult to keep them. It's all about what City would be prepared to pay him in salary. And then if Palmer says, well, Chelsea, look, they're offering me 350, 400 grand a week plus bonuses, match it. It's whether Chelsea are willing to break their pay structure. Now, some Chelsea fans believe they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. I think they'd be absolutely... You are not a team that's trying to win the Premier League if you're selling Kyle Palmer after a year or two. Because I do think he is phenomenal. But it was an interesting story for me. There's been a lot of focus on Palmer the last few days. And I saw it and thought to myself, I saw it just on a few Chelsea, a few City accounts, like aggregator accounts, kind of put it out. And I just thought that'd be such an interesting saga. And a City fan here says, Terry Pep never signs a player he sold. But again, a lot of City fans think, and Big Steve sent this to me, a lot of them think Pep might go at the end of the season, my friend.
What about Gundogan?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he signed Gundogan.
He went on a free, though. Yeah, that's right. Though, to be fair. He did still leave, though. He could have re-signed. He left.
Yeah, but didn't he not re-sign because the contract terms weren't they weren't agreeable. He wanted 3 years and they were only willing to offer a year or two.
Who signed him? I mean, yeah, look, I do get what he's saying, but at the end of the day, though, the one thing I'd say about Pep and Man City is how many players that play in Palmer's position in the world are one better, and if he's available, this is, and they could get him, who's actually better than him in reality that they could get. How many players, really?
Well,
other than Bruno Fernandes, who is there?
I think what makes this one weird though is, sorry to cut you, George, is Pep doesn't usually make mistakes. For me, I look at this as a mistake, but I also think something deeper lying must have happened for him to sell Cole Palmer, because the talent was there. You see him every day in training. You know what a good footballer he is, and to bring in Doku as his replacement, and again, no disrespect to Doku, but he's not on Palmer's level. Something must have happened between them two. Because it's not often Pep sells a player.
Apparently, Palmer wanted to go on loan into Germany this season, but Pep was like, "If you're going, you got to go. Like, we're not doing the loan thing." He's like,
"That's weird, though."
All right, that's what I heard. Apparently,
but I don't think Pep and anybody at City thought Cole Palmer was going to be what he is right now. And I think if he stayed. If he stayed at Man City, he's not the player that we're seeing right now. Because
we didn't see this sort of Palmer. We didn't.
Yeah,
so they did. Though. Remember, they see him every day.
No, yeah, but then
I don't think he would have played in the conditions at Man City to even allow him to become this player. I feel like the conditions at Chelsea, with them being so bad, with him being able to, and Pochettino, to be honest, just going to him and be like, bro, take this team and make it your own. Literally. Give the ball to Palmer and make plays. I feel like he was forced to be, not forced, but he got the opportunity to shine and he took it and he made himself become that player. But I don't feel like any other club, I don't think he becomes what he became at Chelsea and gain that confidence the way he did.
And unless you're Messi, Pep's not going to empower you like that to give you the freedom to express yourself like Palmer needed. So I think
there is an element of that as well.
He actually did. Before he got his Achilles injury, he'll come on the end of Champions League game. I know, albeit it might be game week 5 or 6. He'll come in and get the odd goal. I think Community Shield just before he left, he scored. There was a few Carabao Cup games. He come into the fold and he did well. City fans will tell you. Then he got that Achilles injury and that was it. That's when players start to come through.
We've seen as much of him at City as we've seen with Oscar Bob. That's sort of like now we've seen that little bit of him. Not enough to know if he's going to blow up. And if he made a move now and blew up, no one could say they saw this happening. They think he was a good player, but Palmer's really just took everyone by mistake.
And the thing is, like, when the deal first happened, I thought Chelsea paid too much. Because I've said 40 million and he's basically just a kid from the academy that's been kind of getting like
1 out of 1,000 things Son got right. 1 out of 1,000 things.
Yeah, I mean, look, like it looks like a steal now, but in hindsight, I don't even think that City regrets selling him. I mean, they sold him and then they still went on to win the league and stuff. So yes, they obviously if they go buy him back, then I mean, then they regret it. But I don't really think that they're missing Cole Palmer as much as people may want to force that narrative.
It's an interesting. Do you know what I think it comes down? I think his ability was always there. Almost one thing you can't kind of predict is the outputs this man had. Because even Chelsea fans like Don, and I use Don as an example because he's regular on the terrace, stated he'd be a hit. But unless somebody's seen it and I haven't, send me the video footage. Nobody was talking about a player that in his first 39 games for the club was going to have 42 GA. And do you get where I'm coming from? There's that he'll be a hit. but nobody was talking about the level of consistency, the level of goals, the level of creation from this man. And by the way, I don't want to hear take away penalties or take away free kicks because, as I said on my show this morning, we can do that about any. I said it about you boys all like F1.
Yeah.
Imagine this was do you ever get this analysis in F1? I know Lewis Hamilton's good, right? But if you take away his reflexes and his driving license and add 30 pounds of weight on him, would he still be the same driver?
If take away the car. If
you took away Floyd Mayweather's ability to bob and weave, to defend, to counterpunch, and maintain his fitness, would he really be the Floyd Mayweather we know today? Why do we do that in football? It's the only sport where we take away genuine, bona fide attributes of a player that they're really good at and go, without all the things he's good at, how good is he really? It's very weird what we do.
Do you know what's crazy?
It's the stat world that we're in right now. Everyone wants stats. So they misuse them. I remember growing up, and I don't remember ever asking, other than strikers, what's the GA of anything? I never used to ask those questions.
And do you know what else? Do you know why the penalty, especially the free kick thing, that's alien because you have to be skilled to score a free kick in the first place anyway. But why the penalty thing will never make sense to me is you can miss them. It's not like it's guaranteed to go in. You can miss penalties. We've seen some of the best players in the highest pressured moments miss penalties. So when people say, "Oh, he just scores penalties," that I've always thought that was a load of rubbish.
It's crazy. My favorite one at the moment is people that don't want to count assists from corners. They're like, well, being good at corners shouldn't be considered an assist.
I did that just to wind up Arsenal fans with Saka. That's the only reason I did that. I didn't generally mean it.
No, but again, doing it as a joke is one thing, but some people mean it. And I sit there and think about like Gerrard and Beckham and these players who were just elite at that. Imagine taking that attribute away from someone. Like, it's genuinely, crossing is such an important component. Free kicks are, penalties are, but there we go. And on Man City, Will, you were saying that about Pep potentially taking over as the England manager. Do you think that would be the right move for him?
No. If I'm Pep, I stay at Man City for the rest of my life until they want to get rid of me. Because I feel like he could just break every single record by any other manager that has a record over him. And with international football, you can't buy players. And it's more so like a part-time job. I feel like Pep is a manager that likes to be more hands-on, like the day in, day out of things. And again, you can't spend money with your international team. So like if you don't have certain players that can play the way that you want, you're just stuck with them because they're just born in that country. So I saw the reports, but I can't see him actually going to England. I actually think he stays at City for another a few seasons.
Cal, is there an argument that if he goes to a nation like England that hasn't won a trophy since 1966 and wins a major tournament or two, that could enhance his reputation even further in the game rather than just staying with City and winning?
Yeah, Pep, I'll be honest, if anyone can break England's duck, it is Pep Guardiola. And I get everything you just said, Will, and everything you said is absolutely spot on. Pep's just a bit of an alien, though, because he's probably someone who could do the part-time thing, still get the best out of players and still win stuff. I think in the Premier League, it's always going to be Fergie. Unless Pep stays as long as Fergie did and wins more than Fergie, it's always going to be Fergie who is counted and seen as the best. In overall football right now, a lot of people will say Pep is the GOAT. But if he goes on to international football and then achieves, especially for England, I think you've just got to put him in his own category and say he is the guy. As much as you can look at some of the things that City have done to why they've got their success and everything, as a coach, maybe on your hand you can pick out players that he hasn't improved. As a coach, he's improved players everywhere he's been. He's brought in a philosophy and a style of football. He's played different football at Barcelona to what he did at Bayern Munich to what he has at Man City. So if he goes on and does it at international level with England, you just got to give him his flowers and say, yeah, he's the guy. But
he won't manage Spain either, will he? Because he's Catalonian.
No, apparently not. Yeah, apparently not. But I don't see him taking the England job, though. I don't see him doing it.
Yeah, but let's be honest. If he does leave City and doesn't take the England job, what other job is? Of course, every manager would take.
I think PSG.
Every club would take him. But where does he go?
PSG. That's a downgrade. I think that he retires. If he leaves Man City, it's because he's retiring. Like, there's no other club that's playing at this high level and also give him all these resources. Like, going to PSG is a downgrade.
What about I think the thing is,
might go to might go Juve, Inter.
No, he's not going to get the money at Juve. At PSG, he's got all the resources, and no one can turn around and say, "Oh, you've only done it at PSG," because he'll turn around and say Barcelona won this, that, and the other. Bayern Munich won this. Man City won this. If he goes PSG, delivers PSG their first Champions League trophy in God knows how long. I mean,
wait, Cal, are you trying to imply that Pep needs money to do well all the time? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I didn't say that.
But
I
you
didn't
just
say that.
You disregarded Italy because you say he's not going to have the money. What else?
No, I just said the money helps. The money helps.
No, that's not what you said, Cal. I'm gonna rewind it to what you said. I said Inter and Juventus. You said no, he's not going to have the money.
Bro, it's been a long day. I can barely remember what I said a couple seconds ago. So I don't know. What about the Girona?
I just reminded you though. So what do you think?
How?
What do you say, Henry?
The Girona job. They're part of the City group. Yeah, they're part of the City group and they've got money.
No,
and they're in Barcelona.
They don't have money. They don't have money.
I don't think he wants to work for his brother's the CEO.
Yeah, his brother's the
he's not going to work for his brother
or whatever.
He's not going to Girona.
But you know, in
response, little brother as well.
In response to Cal's point, I actually agree with you, but I feel like he'll only go PSG to challenge himself because if you look anywhere Pep's gone, bar Barcelona B, it's already been like world-class core of players already there at his disposal, City and Bayern Munich. So I feel like he only goes PSG to challenge himself. But if he does deliver them that Champions League, he'll be a god. He'll be a god around there, and it'll be spoken.
I think Italy is a better challenge for him because PSG.
Imagine winning La Liga over Madrid,
Champions League.
No, I think there's. It all depends on what he wants. I think. Sorry, Will. I think it all depends on what he wants next. I think England could be some. There's always going to be arguments, you know. Even if he wins more trophies than Sir Alex in totality, and I think Fergie's still 15, 16 major trophies ahead of him in totality. You know, I was listening to Simon Jordan talk the other day, and I don't agree with everything Simon Jordan says, but he made a point about Brian Clough. Now, everyone on this stream, my age and younger, we don't really talk about Brian Clough, but this man was managing a team.
Paisley as well.
Yeah, Paisley. But Brian Clough was managing a team in the Championship, or what was then called Division 2. Got them promoted, won the league the year after, and then won back-to-back Champions Leagues. And when it comes to actually crowning people the greatest of all time, there's a lot of coaches that have all, and I'm not saying Pep has to do this. I don't believe he's a checkbook manager. I'm not stating that he hasn't earned to be at the clubs that he is at. He certainly has. And I've got nothing but admiration and respect for the quality of manager that he is. But I would love to have this conversation with him around maybe managing in England and winning a World Cup, legacy-wise. Also, maybe it's not taking over an Aberdeen like Sir Alex did, or a championship team like Nottingham Forest and winning a Champions League 2 or 3 years later with them. But maybe it's going to an AC Milan, making them the dominant force in Italy again after however long without it, and getting them back to being Champions League winners. And I know that the package has to be right. There has to be good money available, because I don't think anybody can win without good money being available nowadays. But I would love to see Pep take on a challenge like that, because when it would make the conversations around the GOAT, for me, even more enjoyable. Because when I think about some of these managers like Clough, like Sir Alex Ferguson, Jose Mourinho fits into this category. You know, went over and, you know, went to Porto, I think he won the UEFA Cup, then he won the league, and then he won the Champions League. But that was with a team like Porto. And there's a beauty in taking an unfancied, almost unrecognizable team at that level within a particular era and making them the best, or one of the best teams around. Fergie did it with Aberdeen by breaking the stranglehold that the Rangers clubs had, winning European silverware with this tiny little club. But by the way, has almost done nothing since. So I would like to see Pep try something like that, because I think maybe, and none of us are going to know until after it's happened, I think maybe equaling the amount of trophies Fergie's got, or having a few more than him, still may not be enough to see him, by all generations. This generation will say he's the GOAT, but overarching in football, when the historians get into it, I would love to try and sell him that idea, if that makes sense. By the way, I'm not saying he isn't. I still put him in the top 3 managers of all time. I think he's phenomenal, but I would love to see him go somewhere and resurrect a giant, or take over a team that's not fancied. I mean, Girona's a great shout. Imagine he did go there. Maybe the City group starts to pump more money and they get some new, ATPs going out the window. It might follow suit across the rest of the world. More money. Imagine he took a team like Girona and made them back-to-back La Liga champions and Champions League winners. His legacy in the game would be almost again. Just the point is, imagine he did that. How would you challenge his legacy? How could you challenge it?
I have a crazy shout, and I know people are gonna just dismiss it right away. but Carlo's out of a job at the end of this season. Florentino Perez could be real convincing. I know he's from Barcelona, but who would have thought that Luis Figo would join Real Madrid from Barcelona? Crazier things happen. I'm just saying.
You know what's funny? That's even crazier than what I was going to suggest. And I was going to say he can Spurs and Premier League.
You're probably now.
Spurs is a great shout. Spurs, I know it won't happen, but it is a great shout. Imagine he left, went away for 3 or 4 years, come back, took over Spurs, and did a three-peat and won the Champions League with you.
Mate.
If he did that with Spurs, it's one of those things where I would. If he did it with Tottenham, I'd probably just go, "You're better than Fergie." I wouldn't care. Just do it. Boom. I'll get a tackle on me. He's better than Fergie. Done.
I would never show my face in North London again.
I know a lot of people saying Terry ain't happening, but this is. I will say this to some of the audience, and I'm sorry to be rude. I do need some more of you to touch some grass and socialize face to face with friends. This is just how men and women sit and talk about football. Hypotheticals are an exciting part of the game. If you don't like it, football conversations, I think they're not for you. I genuinely think they're not for you, without trying to be rude. Breaking news. Breaking news. Reliable source close to Milan. Should be Inter, not Milan, because Milan is AC Milan, but there we go. Reported that Inzaghi is currently learning English so that he can reject Manchester United. Thank you, Johnny Sins. Appreciate that. This here says Palmer isn't going for 300 million. Hazard was only allowed to go for an astronomical amount when he had played his best football. Yeah, it still goes down to the worst transfer, I think, in history, Hazard to Real Madrid, doesn't it? It's just, considering the quality of the player, the money, and the fact that he didn't play, he's crazy. He would never be that player at City, talking about Cole Palmer. Pep is an absolutist on positions, no freedom. Even Henry was heavily restricted at Barcelona. Fair. It's fair.
Well, look at Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, the player that we saw at Villa, he's not that good anymore for me.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Haven't Chelsea given him the platform that he had been craving? Are you sure he wants to jump back into that fire? Oh, none of us are saying that he definitely wants to go back. We're just talking on the story. Would it be? That's the point of the conversation, Stu. Would it be good for him? Would it be good for City? Would it work? I mean, the question also is Pep going to be here at the end of the season? Then I don't know who would be the new manager. Maybe the new manager coming in shows a little bit more freedom, and Palmer thinks, I fancy going back home. I mean, it's not inconceivable, but I don't think he'll be moving this summer personally, but I wouldn't say that it's impossible. Big weekend coming up for Arsenal. Club seems to be getting a little bit ruthless when it comes to these little niggles and injuries in international breaks. They ain't playing. They're coming back home. Are you a bit worried or concerned about the state of your squad ahead of this weekend, Kunle?
Not really. Like, we're playing, we should be able to handle Bournemouth. We should be. If we're gonna do what I think we're gonna do this season and win the league, this is something that we should be able to handle. Like, I think Saka will start. I'm not sure the update on Timber and Calafiori, but I think one of them should be available at least. But yeah, I don't think it's a situation to be worried about. I would have been more worried if this was the state of us prior to the last 4 games we've had. But with the next few games we have coming up, bar the Liverpool game, I'm feeling good, man. Actually, I'm feeling good about the Liverpool game as well. What am I talking about?
That's the Kunle.
Look, what everyone's saying about Arsenal, like maybe Saka's not going to be fit, maybe Martinelli's not going to be fit. How do you see him coping this weekend, boys, with, and I'll go to George first on this, coping with Bournemouth and then a Champions League game midweek? Do you think they'll still have enough, or should they risk these players picking up another injury, or should they rest them?
Is that Saka you're talking about?
Saka and Martinelli's got a problem with these.
Look at the enthusiasm.
Well.
I think with Bournemouth, you know what? A lot of people write off Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are a decent side. I think they play some good football, and they can be dangerous at times, especially with Semenyo on the attack. They're a team that catch a lot of people off guard because they play some decent football. So I think Arsenal have enough to get through them, no doubt. I think the worry is going to be the Champions League game. But who have they got in Champions League? I'm pretty sure this is their easy game.
Shakhtar at home.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. This is their easy game. So I reckon they can still get through both of those games without Martinelli, Saka, and potentially Odegaard. But they are going to have some problems with chance creation. And I think their attack right now is going to be looking a bit bleak. They have to hope that Gabriel Jesus can perform back to the levels maybe he was at 2 seasons ago, because I think that he's been well off his best for a long time.
He's a spy now. He's a spy. I don't rate him no more. He's a spy. I don't know. He's on a one-man parade to like get out of the club. I don't know what he's doing. He's taking extra touches. His shooting is even more often before. He's not. I don't know. Other than that,
he wasn't a striker. When Richarlison was starting over you, then it told you a lot that you was not a good player, bro. That said more about Jesus than it did about Richarlison.
Well, you remember when Man City first sold Aguero to Barcelona, and Jesus was the only striker, and they switched up their whole formation to run a false 9 with Gundo and Foden.
They didn't want him to run in number 9, bro.
Yeah, like he was still holding bench at City, and there was no striker. He was only one.
And he's doing the same thing right now. Arteta has changed his whole system to not suit Jesus and put Havertz in the middle because he can't play that role. So Arsenal pretty much brought a utility player. And do you know what? I'm gonna be watching very closely that front line, because Havertz, Jesus, and Sterling, whatever way they line it up, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I think it's gonna be a bit stinky, but
I don't think Jesus will start.
Hey, Sterling's still better than your forwards, bro. What are you talking about?
Brendan Johnson's got 7 in 7. What are you talking about?
Is he better than Sterling?
He's got 7 in 7.
I didn't ask you that question. We're asking.
Sterling scored like 7 goals in his whole last year.
Answer my question, Mr. Man.
Yeah, but he's Gareth Bale.
What's but? It's a yes or no thing, bro. Is he better than
you know what
at the moment, probably, yeah.
Henry,
he's in much better form.
Henry, you know why you and George are cheeky? Because let's just go back probably maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago.
No.
Johnson, get out the stuff. This guy's not here.
That's why I wanted him to say he was better before I brought that up, bro.
Yeah. Do you know what's mad as well? The Arsenal, they'll get past Bournemouth and Shakhtar purely because of their back line. They'll probably score from a set piece, Gabriel. That Liverpool game, I think, Cal, you play Wednesday, don't you, in Germany?
Yeah.
And Roms. So then you're at the Emirates.
No. I think we're at home against. Hold on.
No, that's it. We're away.
And they're in form. They're only off of Bayern Munich off the top from goal difference. So they're playing.
They're in good form. Openda and Sesko. We're at home.
So I think
Leverkusen, yeah.
I don't think Saka will.
We're away to Leipzig. Sorry, cut you again, Henry. We're away to Leipzig.
Yeah. I thought so. I thought that Leverkusen game's too soon. I would have remembered that at Arsenal.
Yeah, so you're playing Leipzig, and they're only off of Bayern by goal difference, right? But that's on the Wednesday, and Arsenal play at home on the Tuesday. So I think Arsenal will rotate a bit against Shakhtar, whereas you can't. I don't think you. I mean, you've won your first 2 games, so you might rotate a little bit. But that game at the Emirates I think it's massive for Arne Slot. If you come out of there and win, then he's the real deal. But Arsenal will be looking at that.
The next couple of games in the Prem are big for Liverpool, aren't they? Because you've got Chelsea. I mean, I haven't watched it. This video is going to redirect it to Hassam's channel. He is calling this weekend Chelsea's funeral because it's quite big for them as well. And let's see Cal's face. Are you confident about beating this Chelsea team?
He's nervous. Why are you nervous, Cal?
Cal's really nervous here about Chelsea.
No, I'm not nervous. I just don't like saying I can't sit here and say it's going to be Chelsea's funeral. I love Hassam. I'm going to be on the channel tomorrow. But I don't think we can speak about Chelsea like how Chelsea were last season and the season before. Like they're not scrubs now. Like they're not a world-class team and they're not a Premier League challenging team, in my opinion, this season. They're not scrubs though. Like they could come to Anfield.
Cal. What are we doing?
Do you know what, Cal, as well? I'll say for free. I do think we beat them, but I think you're spot on. Hassam, big up Hassam, but Hassam saying it's their funeral. For me, that conveys it's going to be a battering or
like work.
I don't think it's going to be that last season because I can see a goal margin. I back us to win, but the things with Chelsea and Liverpool were each other's biggest tests so far. I don't think we've played an attack as potent as theirs, and they haven't played an attack as potent as ours at the moment. So I think it's going to be a tight game. But Anfield, I back us to beat anyone.
They played Man City to start off the season though. Like Liverpool haven't played anybody yet.
Hang on. Sorry. Will, say your bit and then we'll go to you, Kunle. Sorry.
Nah, well, because he said that Chelsea they haven't played like an attack as good as Liverpool's.
Other than City, other than the first game.
And then I was gonna say like Liverpool haven't played anybody this season. No offense to the United fans, but come on.
No,
yeah, like they kind of had like a pretty easy run. In terms of like if you look at like how all the other teams.
On that, Will. Sorry, before you jump in, Kula. On that, Will. Is it easy to say that in hindsight though? Because AC Milan haven't started the season crap, and Man United have, but that was.
Well, I was more so
early
talking
in
about the
season.
Prem, but like AC Milan, yeah, like that was a good win. I was just more so talking about like the league because we were talking about the Chelsea.
Man United at that point in the season, it was very early in the season, so in hindsight, it looks like like an easy win. But at the time going into the game, a lot of people predicted it would be a bananas game for Liverpool.
And
But
you know what else?
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, in addition to that as well, you know, as Liverpool fans, we've gone to United with better teams and not one. So I don't just ever brush that game off. Even last season, United weren't the greatest and we didn't win it there.
Why are you guys trying to do this, man?
Hey, George, I've clocked it already. George,
when people dismiss United, it's still a big win.
I'm just waiting. I'm on to him.
But I think like
see
before
Rums,
this
yeah.
season,
Hold on,
before
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
See Rums, yeah. You see what Rums did without even breaking a sweat. He said, "Yeah, we'll win." But yeah, it's not going to be a. Yeah, we'll win. Don't think that was his real answer. Yeah, we'll win. And then he tried to cover his back just in case there's a situation. You don't rate Chelsea, bro. Yeah. Don't try.
Hassan's actual title of his video is Chelsea, I'm coming for you 6 days until your funeral.
And that's how Rums really feels too, but he doesn't want to.
No, I agree. Rums is playing it down.
Even the predictions at the start of last season, I put Chelsea 4 stars last season. Poch, whatever, they had a poor season. Started this season, I had them 4th again. Ask anyone. I actually respect Chelsea. The chat will tell you I've been respected. I'm not one of these fans that just said they're rubbish, they're this, they're that. I actually respect them and the players they have. So, well, again, I'm not like Sam. I don't think we're going to batter them, but it's Anfield that I think we'll have too much for them.
See that little. It's Anfield. You saw that, Terry. You saw that.
Yeah, look, I'm excited about the game. Actually, I can't. We'll be in our new studio as well this Sunday. So yes, all gonna be kicking off. It's gonna be very, very nice indeed. But yeah, some big tests for both those guys, and loads of big games coming up in this little cluster between international breaks, which is going to be very, very nice indeed. I did want to ask a question, actually, though. Where's it gone? What was the question I was going to ask? I had it written down. Now my brain has gone a little bit to mush. So I'm not going to ask it because I can't remember what the hell it was. My brain has totally gone and I can't find it now. So there we go. We'll move on from that. But yeah, Cal looks nervous. Rom looks confident but doesn't want to say anything. And Hassam, I know how Sam's doing. I'm going to call him out here. This is, by the way, for all of the haters and the people that don't have friends, this is what you call a joke. I don't really mean this. So I know we live in a world now where you've got to preface everything, but I think Sam's just mathing off like this. So if it goes wrong, he gets clipped up and goes viral. That's what I think he's doing it for. That's what he's doing it for. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all it's fake.
I think it is. You know what? When you look at the way Kyle and Roms were just mentioning the Man United game, but Man United were good at that point. Like, but no one knew they were this bad. But like they're doing all this mental gymnastics to try and praise how good Manchester United was at that point of the season.
Everybody knew that they were bad, though.
What I can tell, and what I really tell, is I sense the fear. You fear Chelsea right now. And just say it.
No. I respect them. There's a difference. I respect them. I don't
just
fear
like you said, they're the one team you don't write off because every time, let's be real, when you have games against them, it's close. And Chelsea's the one team, even when they're shit, they managed to pick up points against you. They managed to have
last season we smashed them 4-1.
George, do you know the last time they beat us? Do you actually remember?
They managed to pick up points. I said pick up points. I didn't say they beat you. I said managed to pick up points. So I think this game, I think that they're getting something from you, man. I'm just gonna go out there and say I think the Anfield curse and all this. Nah, man,
they're leaving with something. They're leaving with something. Yeah, I'd go right now. My mind might change by the end of the week, but right now I'm thinking Desmond. I'm going 2-2. Yeah, I'm going like 2-2 feels like a solid result, and it gives Man United a chance to win a game and then close a points gap on both of you. So I'm excited about the prospects of that.
You're going to positive goal difference.
You know, so mad, Terry.
I always don't want to. Like it's like a dream of mine to not do it. I don't want to.
Terry, by the time we would have played, Brentford would have won 2-1 and Buemo Grace and United fans would just be pulling their hair out again. You would have lost by then.
I mean, can you not believe they're back at training now, our players and manager, and he ain't gone? I mean, it feels like he's going.
He was doing kick-ups and around the world.
Amazing.
Yeah, mate, this is what's mad, right? He's going. Ten Hag is going, but we just don't know. It's like a London bus. You know it's going to come around the corner, but you don't know when. I don't know when it's going to happen. Tuchel's lined up as his replacement. We're talking to Sebastian Haaland. There's a number of good managers we're linked to as well. I'm excited about, but it's still I can't.
I need the United win this weekend just to keep it down a little bit because he's getting him in now. I just need a win to be like,
I guarantee he goes on a 3-game win streak now.
That's what I'm saying. How many wins do you think he needs to get the confidence from the board again? Like, if you go and win like 7 or 8 games in a row,
7 or 8, Henry.
I bet. Obviously, it's not.
I just need it.
Henry talks bollocks.
December the 3rd. As long as he's there, December the 3rd.
Oh, April 1st, bro.
No, but I'm just saying, if United, for whatever reason, go and win, let's say 3 or 4, but they go and win the next 4 games, they can't sack him. There's no way.
4 games. Has he ever won 4 games in a row at United?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, he has. In his first season.
Yes.
I don't think he has.
Oh, he has.
I don't think he has.
To be honest, if you look at their fixtures, I think that's quite impossible.
Where?
But 2-3 they can do.
They just need
Has he won 4 in a row at United?
I maybe. I don't
Definitely
know.
not in the Prem. Maybe all come.
No. I remember doing this stat a couple of seasons. He might have done it in his first season. We went on quite a good run in his first 6 months after the opening 2 games. But I read a stat not long ago that since Fergie retired, I think we've only won 5 league games on the bounce twice in 11 years.
Oh,
like we've just been awful, absolutely awful. And yeah, I actually
think Ineos keeping him kind of should be making you question them a little bit because they started off reil nice, like they were doing the right thing.
Don't you dare question Ineos. Don't you dare question Ineos.
Chill, fuck you lot, man.
You're speaking too loud.
Do you know what? I do question them, but I don't understand the decision. Beth from the United Stand tweeted something, and it's one of those things that I'm choosing to agree with it because it makes me feel better, right? I can admit that. And it was almost maybe they know what they're doing and we just can't see the plan yet. Maybe there is a method to this madness. Maybe they don't want Rude on an interim basis. Maybe the person they want isn't available. I don't know. I can't understand it though. This is the thing. I always will try to look for the positive or the explanation. I don't get it whatsoever.
There's no ambition. Like that's what it is. And I feel like they should have sagged him after he won the FA Cup. That was the best time to get rid of him. Now, my fault, bro. But I'm just saying.
The thing is, though, these guys, you're not going to
for a minute. This is a big platform, bro. You're doing the most now. Like Ten Hag's going to cook.
Yeah, relax,
listen. I hear it. It's one of those things where I'm not willing to turn my back on what they're trying to do. However, I get the calls. Right now, it definitely looks unambitious. Right now, it definitely looks as though there isn't a plan. I don't understand it. I don't get what they think is going to change in the next few weeks. The only maybe it's money. Maybe there's a percentage of wins he has to have in the opening certain period of a season, and they can sack him cheaper. That would make a bit more sense. But even then, I'd rather give him more money to get him out and get somebody else in. So yeah, I don't have any excuses. I don't have any valid reasons. It is frustrating. And that the worst part about it is I have no joy in looking forward to my team play. And that's more painful than not winning because I can accept not winning because I'm not entitled in that way. Not looking forward to the game because I have no belief that we can play well. That's the horrible bit. Like genuinely the horrible bit for me as a fan. I'm not trying to make any of you look at Cal smile. Fuck off, bro.
We've been there, bro. We've been there. I remember every weekend waiting for the game thinking it's about to kick off. I don't know what's gonna happen. Will we win? Will we lose? Will we play?
Do you know the most when people say, but Terry, why are you more complimentary about Man City and Chelsea and Arsenal than you are Man United? Sometimes I think that person is allowed to use a toaster. They're allowed to use a hairdryer. They can go near hot water. I think, how are you asking that question? Genuinely, it's crazy to me. I hate it. But this weekend could be painful for us. We're at home against Brentford. How bad do you think the loss has to be this weekend for him to get sacked?
You'll win this game. You'll go behind, but you'll win this game. You'll
go behind in the first minute.
And it'll be a stinky one as well.
None will be standing still, innit? We know how it goes. You'll concede first, but you'll win the game. And then that'll give him a couple more weeks.
I just think regardless of the result, if he's sacked, I think if he's lost, like if it's just a 2-1 or a 1-0, he's gone.
No, but
there's no McTominay this time to bail you out.
December the 3rd, Henry.
Henry, I said it this international break that God forbid it happens, but he's getting sacked, and they still haven't sacked him. So I just feel like he's got a bit more time.
With Man United,
praise and worship for Eric Ten Hag.
I feel like whenever Man United do sack a manager, they always end up doing it too late. So like we saw with Ole, there was these times where they had the chance to sack him in like the international break, but then they waited, and then he'd lost like 2 games, and then they didn't end up sacking him anyway. So I feel like it's probably going to be a similar process with this one. Even though it's different owners, I think they still end up sacking him mid-season. They've got another international break in 4 weeks, so maybe they're giving him the 4 weeks to turn it around.
But does it even matter, though?
Dangerous game to be playing, man.
Because if you do sack Ten Hag, right, I still don't think that United squad's good enough to do anything. Like, regardless, I still feel like
I mean,
trash.
Yeah, well, Will, our squad is still gonna the squad, regardless of what manager we have, is gonna take 2 or 3 summers to get anywhere near top level. That there's no doubt about that. But we've been outplayed by the likes of FC20. Forget like losing to Liverpool, Spurs. Like losing to Spurs, it's filthy, bruv. Like losing to these teams, it's unacceptable. We have got the players to play much better football than we do. We just have terrible basics. But of course we do. No, we absolutely. There is no way. There's only 3 teams, I think, in the whole of Europe that have scored less goals than us. Right? You can't tell me we have the 5th. Yeah, I think there's. I read a stat. Palace and 2 other teams that have scored less goals than us, right? The point I'm making
is a little crazy. That is a little crazy.
If there's no way any of you, even could keep a straight face and say we have the 4th worst attack in the whole of European football. We don't. We get outplayed in terms of possession and on the ball by relegation teams. None of you truly believe their squads are better than our squads.
But like, look at your attacking players who you're looking to hold the ball. Like, you don't have a technical team at all.
Maybe not.
Like a majority of your team, they're better off the ball. So I feel like how Ten Hag plays, it is actually better suited to the personnel that you have.
Couldn't actually go for it.
Now you see, I hear what Terry's saying, but in 2024, Manchester United, their winger options are Garnacho, Rashford. What's the
Anthony, don't forget
Anthony and Ahmad. Like, what are we doing here?
But this is the thing. I understand the challenge, but I understand the challenge. But you guys would have if you guys said that about our midfield 6 months ago, one of the first names out there that you'd have all laughed at was Scott McTominay. Now, everybody in Italy right now is saying, why have they let this guy go? Look at our players when they... Look at Bruno play the other night. I know he missed a really bad chance, but go watch Bruno play for Portugal. He looks a different human being. Harry Maguire, right? I actually watched in England last night, and England missed Harry Maguire. Watch him for England, the majority of his England career, not a foot wrong. Comes back to Man United, looks like a chuckle brother. You're going to see someone like Rashford leave. He's going to go PSG. He might go Barcelona. It might go, AC Milan. He's going to go somewhere like that. And then within 6 months, everyone's going to go, why did you let him go? Look how good he is. They're not as bad as they look. Everyone leaves their club.
The same thing about the other 3.
But collectively, they're bad together.
Yeah, I understand that. And it's a combination of badly drilled basics, culture at the club, and then poor mentality from these individuals. That there's something... Benny McCarthy was talking about it in an interview this week, and I don't think he's lying. He just said that we'd watch them train, and you would think as a coach and an ex-footballer, wow, look at them move. They could beat anyone. They go out on the Saturday, and you're like, is this the same human beings? And as someone that used to compete at quite a high level, I had friends that would be in the gym, and they'd spar. They'd beat in sparring. They'd beat in training. Some of our best fighters were winning world titles. They'd go on the mats themselves on a Saturday at a tournament. They'd look a shadow of themselves. And whether it's the crowd, whether it's the media pressure, whether it's the combination of these things, we just struggle. And there's a part of me that thinks that what Man United might need to do is strip everything back to a point where you look at our squad and go, that looks like a Ipswich squad, and then rebuild from that point. Because every superstar we've bought in the last 11 years has failed. Every good talent we have that we sign young or bring through the academy goes backwards. You look at I tell you now, everybody's going, oh my God, I'd love Angel Gomez. He wouldn't be this good if he stayed at United. You look at the left back, who's left is now Benfica that everyone wants. He wouldn't have been that good if he stayed at my club. Suddenly everyone wants him. Nearly every player that leaves our club goes up a level again. There's something wrong with Man United fundamentally, which is why I don't look at the squad and go, yeah, they're just crap players. They're not. It's the whole package is bad. I'm not saying none of the players are bad. Right? I'm not making that claim. But the fact that last season we got outplayed home and away against Sheffield United, I don't believe Sheffield United have better players in my squad. Can't believe it.
Do you know what, Taldo? Where I agree with Will, I even think, because the players you have right now, of course you're better than, I don't even know where you are, bottom half. But I still think with an even more competent manager, your ceiling is probably still about 7th or 8th, because I still just think there's other teams in the Prem that are just better. What I would say is that you can pick up domestic cups, possibly even Europa, because say what you want, and this is what Ten Hag never fails to mention in every interview, they have still won trophies. So I don't put trophies past United. However,
element,
fans are sick of that because you've been used to it. But I think in terms of league, it's 8th. 8th is the ceiling, even with a better manager.
I'm happy to accept that. But if we started seeing better football, but didn't quite have the players to get over the line, it's easy to fix. You just start with Man United. You can show players, look how well we're playing. We just need your quality rather than that quality. And you just add better players into the mix, and then you start going up the lead. The problem is we don't have the basics right. And again, I watched Xerxes. I watched the Dutch game. He didn't score. His hold-up play was good. Ball was sticking to him, playing people in. He looked great. Played for Man United. Yeah. I mean, again, the one thing our manager hasn't tried yet is our 2 strikers together who would complement each other. You got one that's great at hold-up play, the other that runs off the shoulder, but we only ever have one of them on the pitch at the same time. It's so many things that are so frustrating. I'm so angry. I want to stop talking about it. I'm sorry.
I don't think Ten Hag has an idea on that.
I
don't think he has an idea on how to play 2 strikers. I don't think that he tactically has that ability to even fathom playing them tactics.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Henry talks Arsenal. Can I buy you an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, I want my arse of it. Yeah.
7 wins in a row. Yeah, in FIFA or in my sleep is what Joshua Jack says. He's a United fan. Stu Buck, 1 month as a member. Top man, thank you. He says Chelsea play better currently against teams that will come at us. Let's see the spaces you leave in that attack.
No, but it's vice versa. It's literally vice versa. So it works both ways.
It does. Also, Liverpool are nowhere near as expansive now as they were under Jurgen Klopp. Very controlled team under Slot. So that's why I think this game, I'm so excited about it. It's going to be such a great game to watch.
You know what's scary as well? I genuinely don't think we've come out of first gear. I still think there's gears for our team to go up. So the fact we've come this far...
That's why you're so confident about this weekend, Rums. Exactly.
Don't bite, Rums. Don't bite. Don't bite.
Couldn't they know what he's doing? Couldn't they know what he's doing?
Don't bite, bro. You're right, couldn't
Gregory here says Terry's right. When you can't pinpoint the problem in order to be better, the team, you're in deep shit. And no one can pinpoint the actual problem at Man United. No one, not even top United fans, top Reds, because every time we think, oh yeah, get rid of him or get rid of this manager, nothing really improves. It's going to be a gradual thing. It's going to take years. That's why this idea of just like have high standards and moan and next season you'll be great is bullshit. It's going to take a long time to fix our club, and that is the truth.
I think though, with a much better coach and better recruitment, you look at Aston Villa, right? Steven Gerrard had them 16th, 17th. You bring in a gaffer who's actually got an idea how to coach a football team and better recruitment. They're now playing Champions League football.
We've got to remember our squad wasn't even as good as this 2 years ago when we came third. So again, you start playing better football, players get confident. Again, things can change that quickly. They really can. Not winning the league though. There's a difference between going up the league and then winning it.
No trolling. No trolling. Would you have Ollie back on the interim till the end of the season? I swear I'm not even trolling, but would you?
No, I wouldn't. Would
you have Emery?
Unai Emery would be a coach I'd look at now. Yeah, I'd look at Unai Emery in terms of Premier League managers. Like who genuinely would I go? I'm happy with that. I can see that doing well. Unai Emery's one of them. Of course, I'd fucking take Pep. There's no doubt about it, but it wouldn't happen. I'd take Arteta.
Ange,
Thomas Frank. Yes, I like Ange. My only problem with Ange would get hurt at our club. I want a manager who I know he's adaptable in the sense of, it's one of the reasons why I like Alonso. It's why I think Tuchel could be good for us right now. Thomas Frank on a lower level we have got a squad where you can't just play one way. The squad isn't good enough to play one way every week. You need a manager that knows when you say, this week we've got to be more pragmatic. The next game we can be more dominant, control the ball. That's my only issue with Ange. It's one way of playing. We'd have some great weeks. And then we'd have some other weeks where we would get absolutely dicked down. So, yeah, I'd say that's not a dig at him. It's just the way he plays. No, we would. Viewers, give us your thoughts. Give us your feelings. Make sure you're hitting the like button for us too. We've got some big questions coming now for the panel. And I'm very, very excited to do this on the show. CB has messaged me saying no one sent him the link. You're in the group chat, bro. The link was in the group chat. Just want to point that out to you, CB. The link was in the group chat for you, my bro. You can still jump in now. Because I did want to ask some of these. There's a question for Chelsea that was specifically for Chelsea fans, but there we go. I'm going to timestamp this as well. So the first question is actually going to go to Will, who's a Real Madrid fan. I need to think about this. So the question is, would you give up winning the Champions League for the next 10 years if it meant that Barcelona were relegated to the second division and couldn't return to La Liga for the same 10-year period?
No.
Why?
You can't go to the Champions League for 10 years. Just because Barcelona, the Barcelona be relegated? Nah. And then also, like, that does hurt the league as well. You know, people already think that La Liga is kind of falling off or it's not that entertaining. So, nah. And I need Champions Leagues every season. Like, I need that every season.
Every season. Oh my
every
God.
season.
Spoiled brat here.
You don't have to remind us.
Yeah. No.
I get that. We haven't got a City fan on here, so I'm not going to ask it. We're going to go Callum on this one. Okay. Would you trade not winning any trophy for the next 10 years if it guaranteed that Man United will never win the Premier League again?
Ooh.
Ever? No, I wouldn't. Only because
you're lying. I think you're lying.
No, hear me out. If this was about 20 years ago, then my answer would be easy. Right now, I think we're in a position where, with all due respect to Man United, that could be a reality. Whereas I do think we're in I swear to God, I don't even mean that in a rude way. I promise you, I don't.
That sounded really polite, Callum.
No, I swear to God, I'm not even meaning to sound cheeky. But we're in a position where Man United, we're not sure what direction they're going in. Whereas Liverpool right now, I think we're in a position where we look like we can challenge for trophies in the next few years. So I wouldn't want to relinquish that for the sake of United, because I do think if United continue to get it wrong, then that could be a reality. So no, I'm taking the trophies. I want parades, man.
Sorry, I'm lost in depression right now. Just thinking of that. No winning the league ever again. It's a fair question. Henry, I'm asking you a Tottenham question, not an Arsenal one, just so you know. Would you sacrifice Tottenham's chances of qualifying for the Champions League for the next 15 years if it meant Arsenal got relegated and stayed in the Championship for a decade?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Straight face and everything.
I look forward to Northern Derby, and I think it's the best fixture in the Premier League in terms of value. But the banter they've got over us of, oh, we haven't won anything in 15 years, and we can just turn around and say, look, mate, you're not even competing with us at the moment.
Nah, do you know what? Do you know why I couldn't do that, Henry? Yeah, because let's just, for one,
15 years, Jordan.
No, but watch it like this. Yeah, they go down. He said 10 years they go down. They could come up and then win a trophy before he wins one.
I'm glad you know your team.
I would kill my support for the club at that point. I would never support the team again. So I couldn't even take the risk. And to be honest, you have to look at it like this. In that 10, 15 years, you could catch up some success. We can win some trophies. You got to focus on yourself.
Yeah, but they're going to be competing with Hull City.
Could you really know, George? Could you?
Then our rivalry is going to become something like West Ham and Millwall, and that's dead. I ain't trying to become some mid-table rivalry. That's
but Championship, Huddersfield away.
But you don't think how many times in the last 15 years have you actually qualified for the Champions League and even been able to win it?
We've qualified 8 times in 15 years.
Sorry about that, lads.
Because I mean, in a real level, I get it from a Spurs point of view. You are not winning the Champions League. You don't even look like you're qualifying for it now. But this gets rid of Arsenal, Fred. This ruins Arsenal, Fred. They've never been relegated as well, by the way.
Exactly.
Like,
well, it's not so easy to say we're not winning the Champions League. We got to the final with a pretty, fairly meaty team with Harry Winks and Sissoko and Dele Alli. So it's not so crazy to say that Spurs can get to the final again. So I mean, we've been to a final more recent than you, Terry. How long has it been since you went to the Champions League final?
Our team
wasn't that good. Our team was a junior. We were new to Champions League first couple of years in it, and we got there.
But we have 3 Champions League titles. We've won a European Cup, a European trophy in the past decade as well. We've won 2 trophies in our worst period in our club's history, and you're sitting mid-table with us right now, bruv.
You ain't won Champions League in the last decade.
Hey,
we won European. We won European.
My point is, you said we're definitely not winning the Champions League. We used to say
I would right now. Give me the odds. Me and you do a bet now. £100 each, £200 each. You do not win a Champions League in the next 15 years.
No, wait,
Spurs.
Terry, wait, hold on.
Let's do another bet.
I don't put money on
who goes further in the Europa.
I learned a long time ago.
Let me just give some context. You're arguing with the same guy that just said he doesn't want to make that decision because Arsenal could end up winning a trophy before them in 15 years. Like, why are we even talking to this guy?
I don't bet on Tottenham. I've learned the hardest way. You don't bet on Tottenham. You don't expect much from them. You just say hope for the best, isn't it? That's all it is.
What about who goes further in the Europa this season? Let's say you lose at the weekend, get a new manager in.
I'd love to put that bet on.
If Ten Hag is here, you're going further, right? Let's put that there. But let's do that bet if and when he's sacked and a new manager comes in. Because I don't know. I can't. There's too many variables. If Thomas Tuchel took over tomorrow, I bet we go further in the Europa League than you. Because I think overall our squad's still better than yours. And I think a better manager will show that. Not good enough to win the league, but better than Tottenham. Fuck me, yes.
Like, what do you mean by that, though, Terry? Like, in terms of like just like better depth, or because I think Tottenham have a better 11. But are you talking about?
I look at it this way. I look at it this way. They have finished above us a few times in the league in recent years, but Man United have had our worst decade in my life and one of our worst periods in our club's history. And in that period of time, we have still been exponentially, consistently growing, more successful than them. But we've won in our bad period. We've won 5 or 6 more trophies than them. So I base it on the fact that this team, even when we all laugh at it and call it dog, are still better at winning trophies than Spurs. Therefore, if I'm a betting man, forget how I feel about my own club and their club. As a betting man, I'd always bet with a competent manager, Man United going further in cup competitions than Spurs, who never win them. So you just have to, I think.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Next question. I wanted to ask this to a Chelsea fan, but I'm going to ask it to the panel anyway. So this is all the Chelsea fans in the chat because CB's not here. Any Chelsea fans in the group chat, get them on. Would you be willing to win the treble next season if it meant in that summer you lose Cole Palmer and Sancho to Arsenal?
I think Chelsea have got to bite your hand off to take that.
Yeah, say the treble.
The treble, 100%.
The treble. Yo, yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to be okay with losing Cole Palmer and Sancho at Arsenal. For the treble, like, yeah, that's crazy.
And do you know that question when they said, would you, if winning the Premier League this season means you have to sell Saka, would you do it? I said, Star Boy, it was good while it lasted.
Okay, people said it's easy. Let me slightly change it then. So same question, but just the Premier League, and you lose Cole Palmer to Arsenal.
Wait, so just the Prem, and
just the Prem, and you lose Cole Palmer to Arsenal.
Yeah,
is it worth it, Chelsea?
100%. Fans, I'm intrigued.
I don't think it's worth it.
We're not Chelsea fans. We can't answer, bro.
Yeah.
But if Chelsea win the league and then sell Cole Palmer to Arsenal, you're looking at £200 million. In comes Vinny Jr. There you go.
What?
Vinny ain't going to Chelsea.
Yeah, why not? £200 million.
Why are you just assuming he's just going to go to Chelsea?
Right, you know what I'm saying? For what reason?
I'm just going to go there.
If Madrid win the Champions League this year, like he's already, what do you have?
Don't do this, Henry. Don't do this, Henry. Like, don't do this, bro.
No, but if a 200 million bid comes in, Perez has got to think, hang on.
Bro, Saudi were offering like 300 million last summer.
Yeah, but it's different. It's yeah.
No, but the club said no. We didn't give Vinny the chance to we didn't even give Vinny the chance to even think about we just rejected the offer. Like, you crazy? He's invited. You know what? They could pay the release clause, 1 billion euros. There you go, and then he's yours.
Will, who do you think's a better player, actually, Vinny or Mbappe? I was having this debate the other
Vinicius.
day.
Vinny.
I agree. Better left winger.
Well, I mean, for me, he's just a better player because he's been able to carry a team and win it. You know,
he's delivered.
Is there because he hasn't been able to get it done.
But
in terms of the Chelsea with the bro, you can't. I don't think lose because Cole Palmer, like, that's your future. So if you lose Cole Palmer, I get it. You get 200
look at the amount of money they're going to get. You're talking 200 million plus. You could buy any other than Vinny.
Henry,
we're not beating this question.
Henry, do you know why I wouldn't as a Chelsea fan? Because they can trust their owners to spend that kind of money anyway. So I don't think it's.
But now they've just won the league.
No, I can't answer.
I think Cole Palmer elevates Arsenal to now win the league. So then, if you give them Cole Palmer, Arsenal, I think they win the league with the Cole Palmer.
Yeah, that takes them to a whole.
Like now Arsenal are on a whole different level with a Cole Palmer, where I don't think Chelsea, especially with the way that Arsenal's defense is, I don't think that even with the 200 million that you get in, you'll be able to compete with Arsenal now.
This might sound crazy. Palmer's brilliant, but I don't think Palmer's the reason why Arsenal aren't winning the league right now. It's that striker, because they've got Odegaard. Odegaard's creative, scores goals as well. I think it's a striker. I don't think it's Palmer that takes them over the line.
But Odegaard,
we're gonna dead this story at the end of the season.
But Palmer is clear Odegaard. I think we all know this, right? Like, it's not a debate. Like, come on, bro. I think he takes them up a significant level. If Cole Palmer's on Arsenal, yes, they win the league this season. If Cole Palmer was there,
I don't think they need a striker.
Win the league by more points if we have it this season, 100%.
You need a striker. You need a striker and a left wing who scores more consistently.
I'm clipping. Oh my god!
Liverpool. I've got a question, Roms. I've got a Liverpool question for Roms here. Would you accept winning the Premier League and Champions League double next season if it meant all memory for all Liverpool fans of Steven Gerrard was eradicated?
No. Wow. Straight off the bat. No. What Gerrard means to us, it's not worth it. No. I understand you tried to make it hard, but no. That was an easy question.
So Gerrard is worth more than a Premier League title to Liverpool, in your opinion? He's more important than trophies.
Rom, don't bite, bro. Don't bite.
He's just not like this Gerrard.
What about if would you lose? I know obviously it's a possibility, but would you lose Trent to Man United, Van Dijk, and Salah if you win the Champions League and Prem this season?
No brainer.
That's Toronto.
Again,
that's the both of you.
Why are you struggling with this? Are you struggling with this answer for real?
Man United, so he's your academy guy. To Man United,
I'm still shocked that you would pick a player over trophies. I cannot believe that you guys would pick a player over your trophies.
It's deeper than that. You said to erase all memories. Like Gerrard and Owen are the reason why.
All the trophies he won exist, but Gerrard doesn't anymore. We snap and he disappears, but memories go everything.
The reason why that's mad is because most of the trophies in his era were solely down to him. So.
Yeah, but Michael Owen gets the accolade. I don't care, but I'm just saying, you wouldn't give it up. But Trent to Man United to do it this year. What are you saying?
Trent and Van Dijk all go, but Trent goes to Man United, and you win the Champions League and the Prem. That's the UN cap.
That's a no-brainer. Come on, why are you not struggling with this?
Henry, all love, brother. I thought Terry was asking the questions, and he asked Rom. So I don't I don't want to step on anyone's toe on a panel show, bro. So I don't know if this is for me.
Knowing that your academy guys, your arch rivals as well.
Do you know what? Yeah, the reason why I'm going to say no, and I'll still keep chatting, because as much as it's the biggest double in the season, he's won it with us. Do you get? We've won them trophies with him, so I just still wouldn't. I can't.
I need to say this.
I'll answer no. The reason I'll answer no to both. One, because Steven Gerrard for me is like my footballing hero. So that can't run for me.
How I don't know if you mind me saying this, but you named your
yeah. Not biologically. The missus ain't that like she loves me not that much. I try. Yeah.
The thing is, like, if someone said to me, like, David Beckham is mine. If someone said David Beckham's memory disappears forever, but it means Man United have another 1 or 2 Champions League trophies, I go yes. Because
Terry,
that's Beckham's amazing, but
you're in at the moment, though. Because again, not to be shady, I do think Liverpool in a year or two, providing we sign the right players, could be challenging for the Premier League and Champions League. So,
mate, no, I do get your point. I'm not thinking about like, oh, we're rubbish, we're nowhere near a trophy. I just mean it in general. Because for me, my whole thing is, God willing, I'm very old when it happens, but my dream as a football fan is when I die, I want, out of all the English teams, I'd love Man United to have the most leagues, most FA Cups, most Champions Leagues. So for me, it's the players are all an important. Yeah, the players are an important component, and I love that they're there. But the club's victories, the club's success matters so much more to me than any individual player. But I do get the Gerrard one, because I know he won you a Champions League, but Gerrard was like all you guys had for a long time. Yeah. So I suppose that I do get that. Now I've got a question here for you, Kunle. Kunle.
Can't hear you, Kunle. Sorry.
One thing here. Would you accept winning the Premier League and Champions League this season if it meant losing Bukayo Saka and Saliba to Manchester United in the summer?
Go on, Kunle.
Kunle, for when you hear Champions League, just say yes.
Yeah, bro. You ain't been there yet.
This is violence, man. But you know what? Because I don't even think them 2 players get you lot back to the promised land. So yeah, sell them. Give me my double, man. Give me my double.
You should have thought about that. One of them you have never seen. That should have just been...
brother. I gave the answer.
I'm glad the answers here are about winning, as opposed to other things, because I've seen. Actually, I've got to read this comment out. This comment has thrown me, boys. This comment has thrown me. It says, Terry, you just told us you hate people that do this takeaway thing. Now you're doing it. No, my friend. I'm talking about people that do it seriously. We're having a bit of fun. My God. You know what I say? Please make friends and touch some grass. Consensually touch a woman or a man. Do something fun, bruv. Because how are you seeing that as the same thing? Oh, I'm so honestly, bro. Too much. Man's been on the bitty for too many years. Get off the mum's breast milk and find some friends, bruv. Oh my days. I love, bro. Love. But how are you confusing them? Right, let's go to this next question. Oh. Will, would you take winning the Champions League and the Liga double again this season if it meant losing Vinicius Jr. and Bellingham to Barcelona?
You need that Champions League every season, you said.
Tell him. Remind him.
Every season.
Yeah, surely you got to do
it. Terry chose violence today.
Damn, that's crazy.
Who is it? Bellingham and Mbappe?
Bellingham and Vinny, or Mbappe, you said?
Vinny and Mbappe. No, he said Vinny.
Vinny.
Guy that carried you.
Nah. I think we just gotta just hold the L for this season and not win it. Nah, I can't do that, bro. Have you seen how Barcelona are playing at the moment? Nah, I can't be giving them Vinny. Nah. Sorry.
Imagine.
Yeah, nah.
Nah.
That's crazy. That's a madness. Nah.
that wing combo of those two would be.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, no. Especially with how like Hansi Flick has them clicking right now. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that.
Wonder what the midfielder look like.
But you saw only those 2 trophies. We could still win the Copa del Rey. Like we could still leave with something. You know what I'm saying? So...
But it's one of those things that, like, as a Madrid fan, because you always win trophies, you want to win trophies, you want to win more. But you also have to think, if we lose those players, are we going to continue winning trophies afterwards?
I've only ever seen one trophyless season. think it's 2021.
Bro, stop
it
bragging. We get it, man.
Only one.
Like it was
in 17.
Well,
you know.
I only started watching in 2014. I'm talking about since I started watching. I think it was Zidane's last season. We didn't win anything. It was like 2021. I think.
That's crazy.
Will, do you know why? If I were you, I know Vinny would just take Barca to another level. But do you know why I would actually sell them? Because think of the club you support. You're the pinnacle. You can literally go out and get any player you want if you're serious. So if I were you, I would think about that one. I would really think about it because you sell them too, then you can just get a player.
Go and get Palmer yourself.
Just go and get Saka.
But then now we're giving Barcelona the best player in the world. This guy's winning the Ballon d'Or in 2 weeks. And we just gave him to Barcelona. Yes, and then that's like you said, and he's not even like he's old, right? It's not like Vinny is like 33, 30.
Well, another 10 years.
He's like 23 years old. Yeah. So now you have a 17-year-old Lamine Yamal on the right, and then you got a 24-year-old Vinny on the left. And then, and then now you add Jude into that midfield.
It's long, bro. It's long.
Nah, I can't do that. Nah, I can't.
Yeah, we're doing that for the humanity.
And Rums,
I'm just thinking about the future. And again, it's like I said, we could still win the Copa del Rey, maybe the Spanish Super Cup, right? Carlo got to get sacked though because of my choice. You can't only be leaving with just a domestic cup, but it's for the greater good. I just can't be giving them that. Nah,
just some breaking news that's just come out from Jason Burt from the Telegraph, I think he's from, is that there is rumors that Pep is very close to signing a 1-year extension at Manchester City. Fabrizio has just tweeted saying Man City is still working to keep Pep at the club after the new that Hugo guy comes in. Talks ongoing, as revealed last week, up to him now. And the other comment from Jason Burt basically says, sources have tentatively suggested the most likely scenario at present is that Pep signs another deal at City, albeit for just 1 more year. City would like him to stay longer, but would be delighted if he renews. So, I mean, look, that's very good news. Although if it is just 1 more year, you would suggest that means he's got 2 years left, which is probably still better than him signing a new 5-year deal for everybody else. But we'll wait for more of that news to break, and we'll probably speak about that tomorrow on Straight Facts with LB in more detail.
Hey, Terry, I just saw an Arsenal fan drop to his knees. Like with this.
You saw Kunle's face.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited.
You're not excited, bro.
Why am I not excited?
There's no way you're excited.
I want our and it doesn't matter to me because he's going to be trying to win back the Premier League anyway.
When does Pep's current
I think it's end of the season. Yeah, end of the season. So it looks like a 1-year extension according to that report. Do you know what's really interesting about it, though? I do get the excitement of rivals about him leaving. But I did a video the other day defending Wenger when Souness was talking about him not being a football man. And again, a lot of people, I'm going to sound rude, they go for the low-hanging fruit. Terry's defending Arsenal again. No, I'm not. I'm defending Man United and Sir Alex Ferguson. But you just have to have critical thinking to understand why. If suddenly the consensus was to ever become that Wenger wasn't that good, that damages my manager's legacy. Because that was one of his main competitors who he was up against. Sometimes, although they were your enemy, if boxers do this sometimes, they shoot themselves in the foot. They say all the other boxers they're fighting are rubbish. And then they worry because they then get criticized because their CV's bad. You're better off as a boxer saying how good these fighters are. It builds your legacy more. So one thing I'd say to Arsenal fans is this. As much as you want Pep to leave because you maybe feel you're the best placed team to go and win, if you stay for another year and you win the league once or twice, you beat Pep's team. Like I would still want Arteta to beat Pep's team because there's something
Pep's team this season, Terry.
Well, if you believe that, you believe that.
Terry, you know what you just said? Why you're spot on, because I was listening to an interview by Terence Crawford the other day, and the interviewer said, your resume is not that good. And he's like, whether he believes it or not, he's like, no, there's some fantastic fighters to also boost his legacy. Whether he believes it or not, I genuinely think he does, but you're spot on if that you have to hype up who you fought or you've played, because it will damage your legacy.
Yeah, that's why Liverpool fans did the whole thing for years. City are the greatest team ever, because their view was if we could beat them to maybe more than one league title, you could elevate yourself as the greatest team ever. It's a great strategy. You just didn't win enough trophies. But I got what you were doing from day one.
Shots fired, but cool. We'll take it.
Yeah. Spurs.
The next team to win
the Premier League.
The next team to win the Premier League, not named Man City, it will be Chelsea in like a year or two.
Arsenal winning this league, Will. And you got to apologize to me on stream when that happens as well.
All right.
It's a big statement. This is, we were talking about Premier League and Champions League. This is a Spursy question for a Spurs fan.
Here we go.
Would you trade winning the FA Cup and Europa League this season if it means the all living memory of Jimmy Greaves and Harry Kane is eradicated?
Yep, see you later.
You don't remember?
My guy, yes, Henry. I love that.
Jimmy Greaves.
For an FA Cup.
Like FA Cup and Europa. What, a double? 100%.
Get rid of the legacy of those players.
What? And we still won the league in 1961 and the FA Cup.
Yeah, you keep all your trophies, just the players go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I like that attitude. I like
because
that.
As great, I love Harry Kane. I've got signed stuff behind me. I don't know if you can see that right there. Absolutely phenomenal footballer. However, to see Son this season lift the Europa League and the FA Cup, yeah. Knowing the fact that we'd have another European trophy over Arsenal, 100%.
That is fair. Another question here. Sorry, go on.
I'm going to back you here because someone said what memories. People need to understand. Spurs before my time, I'm not going to say they were massive, but they were winning things. I think they were the first British team to win a trophy.
Memory. Kane's legacy is talking about. Kane has no legacy but goals.
Yeah, but the reason I ask it to Spurs fans, I think all of us would pretty much do it. But the thing is, for a lot of Spurs fans, like Harry Kane has been their trophy in the last 10 years, and they love him. And it's those ideas that you don't remember it. I got one that I'd have asked for any City fans that came on, but none wanted to come on today. Would City fans take this? Would they agree to winning the Premier League for 2 more consecutive seasons if it meant losing Erling Haaland to Manchester United?
They're not
100%.
Yeah, they do it.
That'd be 6 titles on the bounce.
I don't think they do it.
You know why they do it? Because they don't rate United, bro. They don't rate United. And they would have done 6, as what Henry said, 6 in a row. That would have been. And they don't rate United.
Yeah, forget.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like
6
Haaland's going to bang them in to win the Premier League the next season, is he?
They'll just go on so hot. If Haaland goes, it's going to be for
score loads of goals. They probably score against City, but United wouldn't win the league next year.
They'll go and buy someone else anyway. They'll go and buy
maybe.
But by the way, if all these questions were to happen by now, we've got Saliba, Haaland, we've got Saka, right? We're stacked, bruv. So I did this. I'm hoping it'll happen. Football gods.
You still have
you know what? I genuinely, I still believe if we don't change the culture at our club, you could give us the 3 best players from all of your clubs, and in 3 years' time, all those players will be unrecognizable to the world. I think we could. I think we'd ruin all of them. I think with that, you know that advert back in the day, everything the guy touched turned to Skittles. That's us. That's us. It's gone. Just finishes. This finishes. I don't know if City. I think City fans would do it. I think City fans would do it because I think in their heart of hearts they know that this man ain't staying at their club forever anyway. So it's almost they're going to lose him at some point. Yes, it's the Man United.
And to have that bragging right, like Henry said, you've done 6 in a row. That's unprecedented. I don't think that will ever be done again. Some people even speak about the 4-peat never being done again. So 6, that's crazy.
You're getting into like Celtic territory there when you're talking about 8 or 9 on the bounce. Like you're not far
fair,
from
Rob, they still got to get 5. They still got to get 5 first.
Yeah, but he said if they win 2 more, innit? So 5 and 6, that's crazy. And
for Pep's legacy as well. If he wins 6 league titles on the bounce, yeah, forget.
Kunle, I've got one for you. Would you accept Arteta being sacked and not winning the league for the next 10 years if it guaranteed that Spurs would never win a trophy ever again?
Nah. I don't care enough about Spurs, man. Nah.
I thought you were going to say they're
always going to be the little boy. They're always going to be the little brother anyway. So we don't need things like that.
You wouldn't never again, though, ever in the history of football.
We're already nearly 17 years deep. So.
I was just about to say
I've seen them fail for all my life, Terry. So
I'm looking at it from the perspective. I know we've won trophies, right? A couple of FA Cups, League Cups, Europa League. But I'm like, we're getting to like 12, 13 years in, right? And I'm thinking, could I do 10? If someone said to me now, because I know how I feel now, You get no trophies in the last 11 years, but it means Liverpool wouldn't win any in that time, and they will never win one again. I could go through this again and worse, so Liverpool never win another trophy again. I could, but then maybe because Liverpool are so close to me in totality, maybe that makes more sense.
I was going to say that.
The team to Man Terry, I'd say yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you change
why that makes sense, it depends what you care. When you always say, before you pass, you want to win the most Prem Champions Leagues, and that, I'm exactly the same. So I understand your answer for that. That means we'll never surpass you in leagues anyway. Yeah. That means we'll never surpass you. So I kind of hear that logic.
It's funny though, as Spurs, they'd literally sell their nan for a Carabao Cup, and they love it. Yeah, like Henry, would you sell your family to win a Carabao Cup?
We didn't even finish the question.
Oh yeah, I've got an auntie I don't like. Yeah. So,
Now let me ask you this question now. Let me ask you this question, Henry. My screen's bugging a bit. Right. So,
what trophy is it for first?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you now. You do the quad.
Oh,
2 years running.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is you have to sack off your fiance and not get married.
Yeah, see you later. Quad twice.
Oh my God!
Twice.
Twice. A real bad man.
Eric Cantona said you can have as many wives as you want. You only have one football team. And to see my team do the quad, the first team to do it, but to do back-to-back quad, yeah, see you later. It's been emotional, but yeah.
It's been real pain.
The first team to do a quad at all, the first one will be the in itself.
Anyone who saw me in that
if you just did the Premier League alone, I think we're yeah, see you later. But a quad, yeah, 100%.
So see how far you would go. Would you do it for back-to-back trebles?
100%. Oh yeah, 100%.
Would you do it for one treble?
We've been together 8 years.
He wants to say yes. He wants to say
Henry, is your fiance watching?
Sorry?
Is your fiance watching?
No, she's out, thankfully. If she was in the other room, I wouldn't be saying
You'll be getting redirects to this stream, though, mate.
Yeah, the camera will be bouncing off my head.
Would you do it for 2 Premier Leagues back to back? Say, see you later, love. I'm taking the genie's wish. I'm off. The fact you're thinking means yes, bruv. Like,
yeah, literally.
I don't know. I think you got to understand. I haven't seen any trophy since I was 12 years old. I'm 29 next year.
So yes is the answer.
100% yes. See you later.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We have some super chats here from the audience. First one says there is a good chance Spurs will never win another trophy ever again in their history without making that trade-off. It is true. Yeah, Arsenal don't need to make that trade-off because they might not win one again. Would you swap clubs for £1 billion? Yeah, would you start supporting Man United for £1 billion, Cal?
$1 billion?
No. $1 billion.
$1 billion, but you have to publicly be a Man United fan.
Well, I'll know
$1 billion?
I'll know all the chants in 24 hours, brother. You mad?
$1 billion?
I'd
Billy.
stop supporting football for $1 billion in general.
I'm thinking the chants in different languages.
I mean,
you mad? $1 billion.
Yeah. Can I not answer this online?
Nah, you got to answer it now. You got to say with £1 billion cash, is there in a big briefcase? You could have it, but you have to. You still do Coppish, you still do your shows, but you become a United fan. Wear United shirts, talk about United.
Would I do it? No,
for Billy.
No.
No.
Body language says.
I'd be like this. I'd be like, and you'll never. I would know. I don't know. You know what?
The answer's a no.
I'll be singing United chants in Yoruba, bro. What do you mean? $1 billion.
Evening, everyone. Would you swap your national team winning back-to-back football World Cups, or your club winning back-to-back I'd take back-to-back Champions Leagues over.
Hold on, Jamaica winning the World Cup back to back.
Nigeria winning the World Cup. Come on,
I'm not gonna lie.
No, I thought you meant England there. If you say Jamaica,
I might do it. Yeah, I can't lie.
So yeah, I have a magic wand now, Kunde, and I can say to you, Nigeria win 2 World Cups back to back.
Oh yeah,
or Arsenal win back-to-back Champions Leagues, but whichever one you choose to win, the other will never win.
Oh, nah, that's wrong. Terry, what is this? Nah, man, that last thing has to be taken out, man.
Nah, that last one makes it hard, bruv.
Nah, I'm taking Champions Leagues if they never can win it again.
Never.
Because otherwise,
Yeah,
you can take.
If never again, then I'm gonna say Champions League. Actually, you know.
Because that makes it harder because otherwise you have the hope that, well, Liverpool will probably win a Champions League again and Arsenal will probably win one in their lifetime. But no, I'm going to take that away from you. 1 billion, I'd wear the Red Devil mascot costume.
I don't think people understand.
I might wear the costume because no one's going to see my face. So I might wear the costume. No one's going to know it's me.
Would you swap clubs for £1 billion cash on the table? I think a lot of people would, to be fair.
Everyone would, man.
Beckham because he's gorgeous, Terry. Well, no, we're both from Leytonstone. We're both from the same manor. Do you know what I mean? Man United can have Saka and Saliba if we get the Champions League and Premier League. Thank you, bro. For free as well. I'd like that. That'd be free. Henry, Arsenal quad this season or Spurs relegated? That's a great question.
That's actually a good question, you know.
Take the relegation. You'll bounce back.
Yeah, relegation.
And do you know what, Henry? You win a trophy. You would actually
we'll win the championship. We'll come back up.
You come back up.
Parade.
You would win
If Arsenal win the
knowing us,
every team's done.
We would get relegated.
Yeah, just
and still not win the championship
permanently off all social media.
You get second. We have to win the playoffs.
That'd be us. We'd end up just about scraping the playoffs.
If Arsenal win the quad, they're not going to do it this season. But if they won the quad this season, there'd be a lot of YouTubers that would have to hibernate like a bear, bro. They'd have to go. They'd have to go away for a long time.
I'm done with content. I'll go back to it. I'm only doing MMA stuff after this. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'll be pulling up to everyone.
What's football?
Pulling up to everyone's script, mate.
Oh, mate, that would be a madness if they did it. That would be a madness. If they did a quad. Right, this here says, is Foden Pep's only English player from the academy to be successful?
What do you define as success? Because some would say Rico Lewis already. So it depends what you're defining as.
Cole Palmer.
He's successful just elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Was
it? Henry is stuck to use your imagination essay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, some Bandulu stuff.
Bandu? I don't even know what that means. I've got another question, guys. This is a hard one for us. This is a collective one before the end of the show. And the viewers, you've got to get involved in this too. Because I don't know. But I need logic, not bitterness. We have to delete 2 clubs forever off this list. Which 2 clubs get deleted forever? And
Napoli
why?
And
Say that again.
So we've got to delete 2 clubs forever. Which 2 teams and why?
Napoli and Borussia Dortmund.
Why? Why them?
Bring the list back up and I'll explain to you why. Because City. Every other team on that list has done something absolutely extraordinary. Man City treble, PSG 9 titles on the road, Bayern Munich treble, Liverpool have won 7 Champions Leagues or whatever it is, Man United treble, Arsenal invincible, Chelsea went to concede something like 15 goals conceded, Inter have won Champions Leagues, Juventus won 8 titles on a bounce, Leverkusen did an undefeated double, Madrid, it's Napoli and Dortmund.
City and...
You know what, Henry, I agree with you.
City and PSG, man. What do you mean?
City and Real Madrid.
Why City and Real Madrid, Cal?
Because then I have happier years.
Yeah.
This is about me in Liverpool. I'm just being real with
everyone. He said no bitterness a second ago.
Like if Real Madrid bounced and they weren't about, we'd have 2 more Champions Leagues, maybe 3. If City weren't about, how many league titles would you?
You know what? Yeah, now City and Barca. Add Barca to my list.
That takes away our European Cup in '81. We beat the Madrid. Do you know what I mean?
You still get that.
We still get it.
If you look at everyone's major,
Barca can bounce. Yeah, you're right.
The thing is, though, when you say what you say about Dortmund, though, you got to remember about. I think where I disagree with you when it comes to Dortmund as a prime example.
They won a Champions League.
Compared to those other clubs. Hang on. Sorry, Henry. Compared to those other clubs, they are tiny financially, and they have won the league title. What 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in Germany. They've won the European Cup. They've won the Pokal. They have achieved some really good things, and I sort of look at it and think like,
okay, what's their biggest historic moment? Because Leverkusen did an unbeaten season, which was never done in the league.
I understand that. But again, hang on. I get your point, but let me. Like, I want to throw it back. I want to throw the question to you. When you think about what the likes of Bayern Munich, the likes of Napoli have done, when you think of the financial might those other clubs have, like what have Atletico done? Considering they have much more money and they're a much bigger club.
They stopped the dominance with Barca and
hang on, but Borussia Dortmund dethroned and won back-to-back years against Bayern Munich.
True.
And we wouldn't have Klopp.
And they've won a Champions League. Hang on a minute.
It's always about Liverpool.
Terry, bring that back up. Bring that back up.
Hang on a second. Have Atletico Madrid won the Champions League yet?
No.
For me,
PSG haven't won the Champions League yet. Arsenal haven't won the Champions League yet. PSG haven't won the Champions League yet.
For me, PSG
Dortmund are tiny. And don't tell me PSG winning it in 9 years is an achievement. With the money they have compared to everyone else in France, it's a one-horse race.
You know what, Terry? For me, it will have to be PSG because I swear they got founded quite recent in terms of the other clubs.
1978 or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't mind if we delete them. The other one's tough because even
what? I'm getting rid of Barca quick. It's stolen our players. It's still our Champions League. It's setting off Van Persie for no reason. Van Persie as well, by the way. But yeah, Barcelona and City. I don't like
one club I'm definitely keeping. I'll definitely keep Liverpool because I feel that
vice versa.
And Arsenal, and not because of my content, but I feel for me personally, and City as well, I'd throw in there, that those clubs are so intertwined in the history of my football club. I wouldn't want to lose that. Like Arsenal for what happened in the 90s with, Fergie and Wenger, Liverpool and City historically. I wouldn't want them to go because I think they're an important part of my football club. Do you know what? The team I keep looking at and want gone is because they have been found guilty as cheats before, and that's Juve. I'd get rid of Juve because they were cheats. Do you know what I mean? So you've kind of done something bad before, so I'd put you on the naughty step again and say, see you later.
I'll be honest with you.
Football Italia years though, Tell.
Man United and Arsenal were 3 and 4 on my list.
Italia years.
You not think looking at?
You say?
I don't think you can really. I think the only team that haven't won any European trophies, as they, and obviously AC and Inter are historic. Juve had 9 league titles taken away from them for the actual cheat. So yeah, I mean, but when I say I kind of contradicted myself because when I said they haven't done anything like iconic Napoli. When Maradona turns up, they literally had a squad that 3 seasons before were like mid-table and then won the league. So,
if Spurs were on that list, I assume you'd have picked them because they're worse than those other 2 teams.
Yeah, because we haven't done. My argument was we haven't done anything really that iconic. Like the first double, yeah, but does that outweigh the trebles? See, it doesn't.
Nah, shit, innit?
We should be on that list, though, to be fair.
Wait, what do you mean you should be on that list? I wouldn't. I would not.
The Super League. Why not?
Do you know what they tell? Do you know what they tell? As a United and a Liverpool fan, you know I wouldn't say Juve though because it's a big part of both of our clubs. Hazel for us, the quarterfinal in the 2005, the 99 was it quarters or semis? Big part of both of
our. No, I hear you on that. What I'm saying again, so we can. I'd say it's deleting from now, so we remember who they are, but they're just gone. So I wouldn't take away their history.
PSG's my number one.
PSG.
Oh, deleting from today,
not from today, and they're gone.
From
not
today.
historically. Yeah, just deleted, gone.
Yeah, Arsenal and Real Madrid.
Is Arsenal because of their fans online? Is it because of the fans online?
Yeah, bro. I don't think you understand. I've got a lot of friends who are Arsenal fans, and every single day I get out of bed, I'll check my WhatsApp, and I'm like,
"It's them. It's just them, innit?"
Another day. Cool. And Real Madrid always beat us in Champions League, so yeah, Arsenal and Real Madrid. I take great pride in pressing that delete button on Arsenal.
Now you know that team, yeah, where there's a red button, and the next side is
Snap it, bro.
It's like that, you know. Was it a Squid Game where they had to press the button to stay or they go? It's a Squid Game, but there we go. This here says scrape the Nations League or Howard Webb. I've got to keep Howard Webb.
That's a difficult one, to be fair.
But if it's from now, Howard Webb can go. Barca defo for cheating in finals against Arsenal for paying refs. I mean, there were big allegations they've been paying refs off and all sorts. So yeah, I'd get rid of them. City and Juve because they are both cheaters. Is what AA says here. Alleged. Well, one of them's alleged. City and Chelsea, they were both established recently. AMT here says Rico Lewis, Foden Player of the Year winner. He was. If Arsenal won the quad, Don would have to join Elon Musk's on Mars. Yeah, Don's what I'm talking about. Don would be finished, especially as well. Saka gets like a brace in the final of the Champions League. Don's done. Don has to leave. Don has to go.
Socials.
He'll be like, but did he get a hat trick though? Did he get a hat trick?
Yeah. I know you got a quad, but you can still concede more goals than Chelsea did in 2004. Done. Or 5, whatever it was. I would take it because either way, if Cole Palmer gets sold, he will become a club legend if Chelsea wins a treble. Not worth it for just a Prem. Thank you, TM. Your team is treated the final like it was a trip. Oh yeah, Spurs. Yeah, you guys were just. I knew Spurs would lose that final when I was outside your ground chatting to Spurs fans who were just. I'm so happy. As soon as I heard every fan pretty much, I'm just happy to be there. I was like, you lost.
You lost. One of the worst days of my life.
No disrespect to Spurs, and I think I can speak for Kyle and all the Liverpool fans. We won it the minute we beat Barca. I know they say, "Oh, you never know," but we just knew it was done from there.
When we beat,
you were the better team in the final as well. You actually played better.
Honestly, when we beat Ajax, genuinely, I've never felt a feeling like I was like, "Oh my lord!" And then when Kane starts when he shouldn't have. And then 40 seconds in, Sissoko's giving traffic directions. And I'm just like, if you was to look, I know we Spursy it the other day against Brighton, but that should be what does Spursy mean? Giving away a penalty in 40 seconds in the biggest game in your club's history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was honestly.
Boys, I want to thank you all. Guys, I want to thank you all for coming on. I want to thank all of our viewers, our super chatters, and everyone. Thank you very much as ever. I thought we'd have a little bit of fun on today's show as it is the international break. We're back tomorrow with straight facts with the boys, which I'm very excited about. Until then, though, people, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Oops, I missed something. I forgot to play an outro. See you later, people. Peace.